Hello, my presentation is over quality assurance, specifically the IATF Standard and Audit in Automotive Manufacturing, and my name is James Cole. So we're going to start with what is IATF and what is it replacing? IATF is the International Automotive Task Force. It is known as a quality standardization for the automotive industry. It is replacing and evolving from TS 16949 for many OEMs. An OEM is basically a car company with Ford, GM, BMW, etc. Last year and this year, 2017, 2018, is the first time that many automotive manufacturing companies will be held to this new standard and will be audited by certified auditors to the new standard. So just a high-level background. If an OEM like BMW or Ford or GM decides to be IATF certified, that means that all manufacturing sites that produce parts that go to them for when they build their vehicle, they also have to be part of that certification, and it's independently on their own per supplier. So this actually affects a lot of the manufacturing here in the United States. What is different or new about the standard? IATF utilizes the foundation from TS 16949, but does have a heightened awareness around some aspects such as reliability of process, traceability of parts produced, and proper risk assessment through the entire manufacturing process. Although there are many differences in the new standard, the three mentioned above encompasses many of them because they directly impact end customers in terms of safety and quality. Some high-level examples of this. Let's say that you produce tires for BMW and you make tires and you ship them to them and they go directly on a vehicle that's going to be sold. So one of this part, we'll start with the traceability of parts. So if you have an issue in the field or at BMW or even after a customer's already bought the vehicle and there's a problem with the tire, say it's becoming flat after only 1,000 miles whenever they should have 10,000 mile road line. So part of this standard is going to emphasize on the traceability of your parts produced. So if you have that customer return or customer issue, the expectation is going to be that you can trace other parts that may be part of that same batch or have been produced at the same time that might have the same defect. Now the next part of this is going to be your actual reliability of your process. So once you find out about this issue with the tire and you get the tire back, it's going to be your responsibility to root cause the issues and put in corrective actions. When you do that, you have to decide what the reliability of your process is. It's already produced defects that escaped your manufacturing site and got to the customer. So with your new actions, you have to reevaluate the reliability that defect won't happen again. This is part of IATF. It's all encompassed in it. And then finally, risk assessment through the entire manufacturing process. This is a very, very important aspect of the IATF certification. Staying with the same example from the tire, if an auditor comes in and they want to understand how you did risk assessments based on your customer return. So say since you found out about this issue with the tire before you put actions in to prevent this again, say you've already shipped 300,000 more tires to BMW. How are you producing your risk assessment for what's already in the field? Are you making recalls? Are you adding another test in at BMW to ensure that these tires don't have the same issue as the other ones before? This is all part of IATF and what it encompasses. Now this was also part of TS 16949, but the awareness of it is heightened in IATF. It's sort of a lessons learned for the automotive industry in general. That's what this new standard's about. The best way to incorporate the standard into your manufacturing process. The best advice that I can always give is to have someone within your company become a certified IATF auditor and then audit your current manufacturing process to the new standard. Many organizations such as ASQ can make certifications for auditors. Ensure when you're incorporating the new standard that your end customer is okay with the changes. Some customer requirements can trump this standard, so let me explain this a little bit. Even if you have to be certified through this standard, and even if an OEM like BMW or Ford or whatever is part of this standard, their customer requirements and your legal binding customer requirement document will always supersede that as long as it's not breaking any kind of federal or local or state regulations. So IATF isn't some kind of federal regulation, even though it's known as the International Automotive Task Force. But what it does do is it helps make sure the manufacturing process has built-in quality and continually improving quality. But still, your customer requirements will always trump that unless it goes against any sort of regulation. The IATF audit. The audit will usually occur at a planned frequency at once per year, unless needed more due to poor performance or other outstanding factors. The auditor will directly audit you based on the actual IATF clauses and regulations and must stay within the scope of the clauses during the audit. The manual, which your auditor should have if you sent someone to get certified, will also come in handy here. So you're going to know exactly, before the audit, they're going to tell you exactly what they're going to audit, what clauses, so you can definitely make sure that you're ready for the audit before they're even there. A portion of the audit time must be done at the actual manufacturing site during the manufacturing process. This is the place where most issues are likely to come from. And the reason is because it's hard to incorporate a lot of the IATF guidelines in the actual manufacturing process once parts are being built. Here's an example. Let's just go on to risk assessment. The auditor goes out to a production line or cell or whatever's going on, and they see a non-conforming part, a part that's not good, that we deem that it can't go through the rest of the process or something's wrong with it. The first question they're likely to ask is how did you determine this part was bad, and what are you doing to ensure you don't get more bad parts? Now, even though there's going to be long-term actions for issues when they're seen, there also has to be some sort of short-term countermeasures, even if that is some part of an escalation process. Sometimes they're not satisfied with that, but there has to be something in place. Risk assessment, traceability, and reliability of the process are very, very important. Anytime the auditor gets a chance to talk about these things, they definitely will. What if you fail your IATF audit? The good thing about not performing well during your IATF audit is that you'll have the opportunity to close the gaps the auditors noticed. Issues found will be listed by the auditor as nonconformances and will specify which clauses of IATF were not followed by the company. All NCs or nonconformities will have a close date that the manufacturer will have to follow up on issues and close anything that remains outstanding. So here's an example. Say while the auditor's on the floor, an operator isn't following the process that's outlined. So they may give you a nonconformance. Well, your operator's not doing what they say they're doing. You're telling me in your process that if you have a bad part that the team leader's getting called, but they didn't call the team leader, so they're not following your process. They can give you a nonconformance for this, but when they give you the nonconformance, it's not a, well, you failed the audit. It's a, you have this amount of time to address and fix this issue, and what's going to come with that is corrective actions through extensive problem solving on ensuring that your process is followed, whether it be through embedded tests or other means. What if you don't follow up with NCs? So let's say you got an NC, but you decided that audit's over, don't want to worry about it. Well, if you do not follow up and close NCs per the audit, then you're at risk for losing your certification, which must be recertified on a planned frequency. As a note, most, if not all, OEMs require suppliers to hold a TS or IATF certification. Without, you may not be meeting their requirements and may lose your business with them. You will also have to go back through the audit process to be recertified if you want your business back. I can go ahead and tell you the number one thing that you need to sell parts to an OEM like BMW, Toyota, Ford, whatever it may be, is you need your TS or IATF certification. And the reason being is because OEMs are most concerned about quality and safety. They don't want accidents and they want to have reliable products. This certification means that everything we're telling our customer we're doing. We're following our regulations. We've been audited by a third party. We successfully passed. If we did have any issues with them, we closed them. That's what they're looking for. If you don't have that, the chances of your business continuing with OEM are very, very, very slim. Thank you for your time.